Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, an officer-involved shooting overnight in Oildale. The suspect's in the hospital this morning. We'll have the latest on his condition and the investigation and what led up to shots being fired.
Wildfires continue to rage and containment is slow going on the Creek Fire burning to our north. We'll check on the progress as we begin another day under a blanket of smoke.
Both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden head to swing states today, clashing over climate change. Biden calling Trump a climate arsonist. Your chance to weigh in. This is Tuesday, September 15th, 2020.
Good morning, I'm Alex Fisher alongside Maddie Jansen, and we begin this morning with breaking news.
A man's in the hospital after an officer-involved shooting in Oildale. 17's Taylor Schaub is joining us live from the scene this morning with what we know so far. Taylor?
Well, good morning, Maddie. It all happened around 1:30 this morning. That's when officers arrived near the intersection of Moneta and North Chester Avenues. I'm going to step out of the scene, give you guys a live look at the scene right now. The Kern County Sheriff's Office says the deputies were called out to the 100 block of Moneta Avenue for reports of a suspicious vehicle. KCSO says the deputy involved in the shooting was the only deputy on the scene when it happened.
Upon arrival, they located a vehicle on the street that was occupied and attempted to make contact with the occupants of that vehicle. During that contact, a struggle ensued between suspect and deputy, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. We don't have a tremendous amount of detail of what led up to it.
This is what we know so far. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital. He's described as being stable right now. His identity has not been released, and there has been no gun recovered so far at the scene. 2 other people were detained. Traffic right now is shut down along Moneta Avenue between Central and North Chester Avenues. Officials say that they expect it to be shut down until at least daybreak here. And if you have any information, you are urged to call KCSO at 861-3110. That's all we know so far, but we're going to be continuing to update you guys throughout the morning. Back to you in the studio, Maddie and Alex.
All right, Taylor, thank you so much. Now to the latest on the wildfires burning across our state, with a major fire close to home growing stronger. The Creek Fire in Fresno County has grown to more than 212,000 acres in just 11 days. The fire is tearing through old, dry trees in the Sierra National Forest. The Creek Fire has destroyed almost 400 homes and businesses. It's at 16% containment as of this morning. Meantime, the largest fire in state history continues to grow as well. The August Complex Fire consists of multiple blazes burning in 5 northern counties, the largest torching the Mendocino National Forest. Since Wednesday, it has nearly doubled in size at more than 755,000 acres. That means this fire alone is nearly as large as Rhode Island. It is about 30% contained.
As we've come to experience on a daily basis, these fires are doing a number on our air quality. Particulate matter from the smoke can cause serious health problems. Health experts urge people to stay indoors, including for exercise, and change your home's HVAC filter every 3 to 4 weeks rather than quarterly. Get an additional air filter for inside your home if you can. They are commercially available, or you can make one yourself. All right, and I could see it this morning. All the lights could just shine and reflect off that particulate matter in the air as I was driving in, Kev. You can already tell how smoky it is.
Yeah, today is going to be another bad air quality day, and then we start to see a little bit of change, and we're going to talk about that throughout the morning. Now, yesterday, we did see plenty of that smoky haze around. We hit 94 degrees, so we were close to that 95 we talked about. And the other thing we're looking at are possibly some winds picking up today and into tomorrow. And you can see the watches and warnings, the air quality alert still in place. Want to show you the visibilities right now, still into parts of Oregon, Medford at 1 mile, 6 miles in Sacramento, 10 miles in San Francisco. So a little bit of an improvement there, 2 miles into Fresno. And the one thing to note throughout the morning here, you notice there's no data out of Bakersfield, out at Meadows Field where we get the official readings for temperature, wind, and all that. The data site is down. The National Weather Service is aware, and hopefully we'll get that data later on this morning. As we take a look at our real-time air quality right now, we are at 173 for Bakersfield. That is unhealthy. 137 in Shafter, and look at Tehachapi, unhealthy as well, with an AQI at 152, 147 out in the desert, and that is unhealthy for sensitive groups. So this is real-time data for Kern County. And temperatures throughout the day, 70s by 9 a.m. We'll be in the lower 90s as we approach the afternoon. I think our daytime high will be right near 94. Into the mountains today, you can see upper 60s by 9 a.m. and then upper 80s as we progress into the afternoon. I'll have much more in your forecast. That's coming up in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Kev. In your 17 Crime Watch, a man is dead after being shot at a local park. Officers were called to Beale Park on Oleander Avenue around 8 a.m. yesterday. The man killed was in his 20s and shot multiple times. No one has been arrested at this time. BPD is also investigating a shooting at a motel. This one took place shortly after 5 p.m. yesterday in the front of the La Mirage Motel on Union Avenue. Officers say they found a man that had been shot. He is expected to survive. If you have any information on either of these cases, you're asked to call the Bakersfield Police Department at 327-7111.
Today marks 6 years since a local father was killed just outside his home with still no arrests. It happened on September 2014. Police say Matt Odom was killed in his front yard on Waterbury Court. While there have been public accusations of guilt, investigators have not charged anyone. The Kern Secret Witness site says there's a reward of up to $10,000 for information that can help solve this case. If you have information, you're encouraged to call the Secret Witness hotline. That number is 322-4040.
From our road work file, work continues on the 24th Street widening project. Contractors are putting road stripes on the 24th Street corridor every night from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m. through Thursday. Lanes will be closed on 23rd Street and 24th Street between the Kern River Bridge and Highway 178. However, at least one lane will stay open on each road. Also, watch for daytime lane closures between Oak Street and B Street, as well as Bay Street. Those will continue on weekdays from 8:30 in the morning till 3:30 in the afternoon for the rest of this month. And expect some nighttime closures on California Avenue as crews work on the eastbound Centennial Corridor Bridge. It's happening on California Avenue between Marella Way and Easton Drive from 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Both directions of traffic will be affected. You're encouraged to use Stockdale Highway or Truxton Avenue instead.
The traditional Kern County Fair may be on hold this year, but that doesn't mean you can't still get some of that famous fair food. The Fair Food Drive-Thru will run Friday, September 25th through October 4th. It starts at 11 each morning at the P Street parking lot at the Kern County Fairgrounds. You are asked to stay in your car to pick up your food. The board says it hopes this brings a little fun for everyone until next year when we can all celebrate in person. And just because the fair is canceled does not mean our local 4-H and FFA students aren't still hard at work raising livestock. We've teamed up with Chevron for our county fair animal photo contest. Students can submit their pictures of their livestock for a chance to win a $250,000 Visa gift card from Chevron. The prize will be presented live on Studio 17. To submit your photos, go to kget.com and click on the community tab and then contests. It ends September 30th.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. Your time now is 5:21. It seems like you can rent pretty much anything now from your friends or neighbors these days. Cars, homes, and now, well, the latest company to get in on the sharing economy trend wants to help you take a plunge without breaking the bank. NBC's Chris Pallone explains.
In Waxhaw, North Carolina, Tim Snyder had a problem shared by many homeowners across the country, an expensive swimming pool that goes unused most of the time. He thought,
pools are closed, neighbors need things to do.
Tim signed up for Swimply, an app that matches people who own pools with people who want to swim in them.
And so within a matter of 2 days, I would say we were up and running and collecting pool fees.
Asher Weinberger and Bunham Laskin created Swimply a couple years ago. And despite being shot down by the celebrity investors on Shark Tank,
You're not getting in with that guy.
they now claim 200,000 members operating in the U.S. and Australia.
We went into Google Earth. We looked for 80 big blue splotches from the sky. We knocked on 80 doors, got kicked out of 76 of them. Within weeks, we had thousands of strangers swimming in strangers' pools.
It's pretty remarkable, actually.
In California, Greg Teagard enlisted his pool on Swimply just a few weeks ago.
At first, I thought it'd be money for groceries money. It's that and way more.
Swimmers seem pretty happy, too.
Just a beautiful atmosphere, kind of a mini getaway.
So what happens if someone gets hurt while renting your pool? Swimply makes pool renters sign liability waivers, preventing them from suing pool owners in the case of an accident. But legal experts say you should consult with your insurance company and even a lawyer to understand all your risks if you decide to rent out your pool. You may also want to consult with your town. Some have made it illegal to rent out pools, others require a permit. In Maitland, Florida, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Welcome back in entertainment news. Some films originally scheduled for theatrical release are continuing to opt for digital premieres despite the reopening of theaters in many states. Raphael Seth has a look at what's new on DVD and digital in this week's home video review.
Excuse me, preacher. You got time for a sinner?
Super friends get caught in a web of corruption in The Devil All the Time. Spider-Man star Tom Holland steps into this gothic quandary based on a popular novel. He's a Midwesterner navigating hard times in a small town after World War II, but Winter Soldier Sebastian Stan and new Batman Robert Pattinson are among the forces of evil standing in Holland's way. The Devil All the Time comes to Netflix this week.
Whoever you were before, that's over.
Janelle Monáe battles the ghosts of the past in Antebellum. The singer and actress plays a successful writer in this film from the producers of Get Out. After a Shining-style visit from a tiny creeper, Monáe gets trapped in a horrifying alternate life that is not only the wrong place, but also the wrong time. Antebellum is on demand Friday. Return to the golden age of travel in Roman Holiday. This classic features Audrey Hepburn in her first starring role. She's a princess escaping her royal obligations by pretending to be a plain Jane tourist in Rome. But newspaperman Gregory Peck knows exactly who she is. He plays dumb to get a major scoop, but ends up catching a case of feelings. Roman Holiday comes to Blu-ray this week. That's the Video View. Raphael Seth, NBC News.
17 News is your local election headquarters, and the presidential candidates will be in swing states today campaigning. President Trump in Pennsylvania and Joe Biden in Florida. And as Tracy Potts reports, they're clashing over climate change.
Alex, the political clash over climate change isn't new, but it's happening with 5 storms raging in the Atlantic right now. That's only happened once before in history. Plus, these wildfires threatening and burning huge parts of the western U.S. Presidential candidates are at odds over whether climate change is to blame.
It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
If you give a climate arsonist 4 more years in the White House, why would anyone be surprised if we have more America ablaze?
President Trump in California.
When you have years of leaves, dried leaves on the ground, it just sets it up. It's really a fuel for a fire.
The West is literally on fire. And he blames the people whose homes and communities are burning. He says, quote, "You gotta clean your floors, you gotta clean your forest."
Democratic running mate Kamala Harris tours damage in her home state of California today as President Trump talks with undecided voters in battleground Pennsylvania. And Joe Biden heads to Florida, where Hurricane Sally is bearing down on the Gulf Coast, forcing evacuations from Alabama to Louisiana.
We pray that Sally doesn't do any harm, but we must be prepared just in case.
Nature, fire, and water threatening homes, lives, and politics. No other government agency that tracks weather changes says we in the Northern Hemisphere just suffered the hottest summer on record. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
And now to the latest coronavirus numbers here in Kern. Public health officials announced 115 new cases and no new deaths yesterday. Nearly 13,000 people have an active case of the virus and are recovering at home. 146 people are being treated in local hospitals. August was Kern's deadliest month with 120 lives lost to coronavirus. 332 people have died since the pandemic began. The nation's top doctor stopped by Bakersfield to meet with local officials about the coronavirus and how to slow the spread. 17's Eitan Wallace has more on Surgeon General and Vice Admiral Jerome Adams' visit and message for Kern.
Yeah, Adams' message was clear. He says the government cannot do everything to fight COVID. In fact, the actions of all of us, he says, can play a major role in curbing this virus. He's called the nation's doctor.
Good afternoon, everyone.
On Monday, U.S. Surgeon General Vice Admiral Jerome Adams was in Kern County. During his hours-long visit, Adams held a roundtable with roughly 20 Kern area leaders at the Department of Public Health. Those in attendance included small business owners, healthcare professionals, and representatives from the oil and ag industries. Before the roundtable, Adams toured Grimway Farms and Kern Medical. He also went to the Kern County Fairgrounds, where he got a first-hand look at the county's alternative care site, an area that would serve as a last defense against a COVID surge should hospitals run out of capacity. But staying in the present, Adams says his visit comes with an important message.
Government can only do so much, and that we ultimately have to take measures as individuals to protect ourselves and our communities.
Protecting ourselves and our communities, something Adams says can be summed up with what he calls the 3 W's. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and watch your distance of at least 6 feet.
I want people to understand whenever they feel that it doesn't matter or that I'm not really at high risk, that your actions can have a direct positive impact on what happens right here in Bakersfield, right here in Kern County. And if you don't wear a mask and you are one of those people who asymptomatically spreads disease, then you're directly responsible for us not being able to reopen schools.
County leaders who met with Adams echoed a similar sentiment.
We could really make an impact in a matter of weeks. That's what's incumbent upon all of us to really take those guidelines to heart and do what we can as individuals.
We need your help to help us help ourselves. That's how we get our businesses back open. That's how we can save the jobs for all the families that need those jobs. That's how we get our schools open again.
I want people to understand the connection between their actions and real, tangible results. We can turn this thing around in 2 to 4 weeks and really get back to a greater sense of normal if everyone does their part.
Looking ahead to the flu season, Adams said now more than ever it's important that everybody get a flu shot. And speaking of shots, Adams also expressed confidence a COVID vaccine will be out before the end of the year. In studio, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
Your time now is 5:39, and in education news, with Kern County set to reopen its libraries next month. Last month, Governor Gavin Newsom announced a new tier system for reopening. Under the purple tier, library buildings can open to the public at 25% capacity. County officials say 12 county libraries will be open on Monday, October 12th. Visits from certain services will be done by appointment only, and curbside service will remain an option. And local learning program Do the Math starts back up today, with officials saying it could be even more help to students and parents during the coronavirus pandemic. It will be the 19th season of the TV show and free tutoring program produced by the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, where math tutors take problems from callers and solve them live on TV. Plus, there's special segments and guest spots where students can see how math is used every day in local businesses. It airs at 4 p.m. every Tuesday and Wednesday during the school year.
I think that is just such a cool program.
Especially right now. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to really ask your questions. Just another option for all of those students and parents.
Yeah.
Sunrise Interviews is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
Welcome back here at 5:49. We know that one of the groups that has been especially impacted by school and programs going virtual have been those kids with special needs. And coming up this fall, we have a run. It's Autism on the Run to help local children and the League of Dreams. Joining us this morning to tell us a little bit more about how you can get involved, Jessica Matthews, the Executive Director for the League of Dreams. Good morning, Jessica. Good to see you.
Good morning. Nice to see you as well.
So this is a run that normally happens in November. Of course, everything's going to look different this year. But what is the importance of getting the community involved in Autism on the Run, and how are those funds going to help local special needs kids?
Well, as you said, Maddie, a lot of the kids with special needs have been really impacted by having to be at home and doing school on the computer. So we wanted to make sure that our event still happened by getting out in the community, running, walking, jogging if you want to, skipping, riding your bike for a good cause. We want to promote autism and disability awareness, but also bring our community together in one shape or form, especially because of COVID. We're not able to do that in person, and we want to be able to still have the event.
All right, so it's coming up in November, so people think they have a lot of time, but we want to get people registered and going with this early. So now is the time to go do that.
Yes, so if you register now, we have an option where you will be able to drive through for your packet pickup, but more importantly, we have an option to where we'll ship your packet to you. And this runner packet includes all the same things that we would have included for our in-person event: a shirt, a medal, which is really cool because the puzzle piece medal that you get this year fits into last year's medal. And if you missed last year's event, you can still purchase the medal for this year.
Wow, pretty cool. Okay, so how do people do it on the actual day of the run? How does this all work?
So it's actually going to be a full month long. You can run, bike, walk anytime during the month of November, but the day of the event will actually still have our raffle live streamed, as well as giving you more information about League of Dreams and kind of that program that we would have done in person, but it's all going to be done online. So the sooner you register, the sooner you get your raffle tickets and you're in for that raffle.
Yeah, and the league is so incredible, and I know that you're working to reach out to other kids right now because people are feeling really isolated, and that population is especially vulnerable. So this is so important. It's such a great thing to get your family involved with, and you can do it just with your family in your neighborhood, at a local park, wherever you want. Share those pictures and help support others who are getting involved as well. Where do people go to register if they want that packet shipped to them or if they want to pick it up, Jessica?
You can go to our website, ourleagueofdreams.com, or find us on Facebook. All the information's in both places.
And I know karate just kicked off, right? How did that going?
Karate's fantastic. The kids had a great time. They get to work towards their yellow belt, so they're all excited, and it's fun to see a new program added to the League of Dreams.
That is so fantastic. All right, Jessica Matthews with the League of Dreams. Thank you very much, ma'am. We appreciate it. We'll post the information on how to register on our website as well, kget.com.
Welcome back to your 17 Health Watch. New research reveals what and when to eat in order to boost your heart health. Scientists reviewed multiple studies on a variety of diets, and they found a pesco-Mediterranean diet rich in plants, nuts, whole grains, and fish was linked to the lowest risk of heart disease. This diet also emphasizes using extra virgin olive oil in place of butter, although dairy products are allowed. Intermittent fasting, which is limiting eating to a specific time window, is also recommended as part of this diet. Having a hostile attitude after a heart attack could put your health at risk. That's according to a new study from the University of Tennessee. It showed heart attack survivors who were sarcastic or irritable were more likely to die from a second heart attack within 2 years. Experts say hostility has been linked with heart disease for years, but more research is needed to determine why.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.